TisaTellss, how y'all doing today, baby? It looks like we finally got some insight, if it can be believed, as to what's going on between Jeannie Mai and Jeezy. And let's talk about it. And I'm gonna go live later on today to talk about it too, but I want to know right now, what you gotta say? The pick-me's, where y'all at? Speak up. The dusties, the incels, the misogynists, the people that always find a reason why a woman needs to give away her soul to be married. Where y'all at? Because according to Funky Dineva, yes, I know that Funky Dineva, who regularly drags women, so I do not believe at all, that he is taking Jeannie Mai's side. He says he has verified. The only people that have been giving it information seems to be coming from Jeezy camps. Even the nature of this seems to, and it sounds like he had buyer's remorse. It sounds like he thought it'd be fun to cosplay being a family man and being married, and then he got there and it wasn't what it was cracked up to be. Y'all don't let these dusties fool you again. And let me just say this, right? This is ridiculous. I expect him to show up with a new woman in 3 months. He literally has buyer's remorse. He literally said, I don't like this. I'm gonna take the family I created and just take it back. It's not for me. You literally got married, made a vow before God. Jeannie's super Christian. Jeezy acted like he was super Christian. You made a vow before God. You did all that mess only to treat a marriage like it was just like what? Boyfriend, girlfriend with no kids involved? I don't like this. I'm moving out at the end of the month. Y'all listen to these complaints and let me know what you think. One, first of all I'm saying, and I know I believe the rumors at first too, because I was like, well, they look so happy. What could go wrong? And he seemed so into her. But at the end of the day, there is nothing salacious. She ain't cheap. It's not that attitude. None of that. Remember how y'all were in the comment? Not y'all. That, I wouldn't take somebody fussing at me either, y'all. The fact that y'all saw a man who literally has what? At this point, 3 or 4 kids by 3 or 4 different women, 45 years old, never been down the aisle, but got buku money and all this stuff. To the fact that in your minds, a man that is as high value as some of y'all put him up to be, even though he shows he's not relationship material, all he can do, he's a trick. He can buy you bags, he can buy you cars, he can take you on vacations, you can get some Instagram shots, but he ain't one for long. Like, listen, you can't make a hoe into a housewife, and he is a ho. That's all I'm saying. The fact that y'all thought that a man that's so high value, for whatever reason, it's just what? Looking for love in all the wrong places. There's all these women around that just want a good man that will be faithful. Cook, yes, I do the cooking, yes, I do the cleaning. And yet he couldn't find anyone. And Jeannie was like, what? A woman that had been married for 10 years. Listen, let me just say the truth about Jeannie and Freddie's relationship. They ain't cheat on each other. They had an open relationship. And they were actively had a very contentious relationship. It was a toxic marriage. It ended up, that's why he was always disrespecting her and she was disrespecting him. It was what it was, but it was still a 10-year union. Jeezy can't even stay with a woman past 2 years, even when he creates a child with them. And y'all were sitting there saying, Mario Lopez touched her. That's cheating, not break up. Y'all, what was this, the 1960s? Now, again, I wouldn't want anybody grabbing my man around his waist, right? I wouldn't want, but the whole point is that's not divorce worthy. That's the conversation. Y'all made up rumors about this woman cheating, Tamar up there hating from the sidelines. Told y'all she like rappers. Tamar is raw, and I get it. Tamar's had so much stuff. Jeannie looked like she lives a charmed life, right? Tamar dating like that little con artist that was trying to do like some whatever, David. Then she get with like this new guy that looks like he's taking her through it. Yeezy, she gets Yeezy. They turn into this little nice couple everybody likes to see. She's going to all the events. Tamar got issues even with the color of her skin. Let's not forget that the way David picked her up is to say, who's this white woman here? And Tamar was like, and I was white. First of all, why is that something to giggle about? Second of all, Tamar, stop. Third of all, he saw you coming. They say just flatter a woman. He told you what he wanted to hear. But anyway, forget about that. Tamar being like, I told you she liked rappers. He either got another woman or she pushed him to it. And y'all being like, No, but she did say that she felt sorry. I said, y'all need to learn when somebody's really shading y'all, because I felt sorry, not y'all, but I felt sorry for some of those people where you can't even tell when people doing that nice, bless your heart, southern shame. Y'all called her everything but a child of God. Come to find out, even Jeezy say, ain't no cheating, ain't no this. It wasn't her mouth. It wasn't her temper. Listen to it, what it was. Distance, not being in the same place. Jeannie always said, I support my family. From the beginning, Jeannie, that's one thing I will say about Jeannie. Jeannie talks a lot. And that's one person that talks a lot to another. I feel you. But she's very intentional with her words. She very much wants you to understand what she's saying. She doesn't want to leave any miscommunication. So she's very verbose in what she said from the get-go to us and to Jeezy. My family's important. I work to support my family. My family is everything. And I always want them near me. Jeezy was like, bet, let's go. Had the mom living with them, his choice. Had the family, his choice. When the pandemic ended, right? Most of the family went along their way, but the mom stayed because Jeannie had an incredibly high-risk pregnancy. Jeannie had incredible bout of postpartum depression. Jeannie wants Monaco to have family around her from her side since she moved all the way from California. She moved to Georgia. Okay? Jeannie wanted family. She made that known to Jeezy. He said he was about family. I'm all about family. Yeah, both things. Move them in. I'm all about it. Jeannie's brother lives with them. But what Jeezy forgot to tell Funky Dineva is Jeannie's brother is his assistant. Jeannie's assistant. Her personal assistant. She employs her brother. You've been known this. And before y'all started dating, her brother was living with her. When y'all started dating, he moved into the house. And then he never left. And this was you saying you was okay with it. So that's why the family lives in the house. But this distance, Jeannie has to keep a bag. The funny thing is, and this is what I mean about you damned if you do and you damned if you don't. So if I have a career and I give it up and I play house with you, when it's time to divorce me, half the people will be like, she don't deserve nothing. All she did was sit at home. Why wasn't she working if she wanted a bag? Okay. So Jeannie said, you know what? I'm going to work. Okay. Bag secure. See, that's what's wrong with you. You don't got your priorities straight. What you doing working? You need to sit at home like your man wants. For what? Because here's the thing. If Jeannie had turned into that, the outcome still would have been the same. I'm glad she didn't give up the bags because he would have divorced her. He just got bored. Right? Now, the distance. This is interesting. They were not being in the same place. Then she said he didn't feel comfortable with a social media relationship. Jeannie works. She's a public figure. What do you mean a social media relationship? We barely saw, like, what are you talking about? The only thing we saw was them posting up going to events. Get this. He said sometimes he just wanted to have a few friends over quietly. And it would turn into 50 people in a party planner. So because your wife thought the way to make you happy was by throwing lavish celebrations, you would say, hey, I feel like having this and that. And she'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to make it extra special for him. And she would use her own money to make something special. And you're divorcing her? The mama always being around. But you know why now? A built-in babysitter, because Jeannie is so protective over Monica. She doesn't trust anybody around. If you guys don't know, Jeannie was when she was younger. She doesn't trust anybody at all around her child except for her mom and, of course, her brother. After what Jeannie's been through, I wouldn't bring an outside babysitter. Jeezy agreed to that at the beginning of the marriage and the middle. And not only that, you know how you know this is an excuse? Because let's be real. Jeannie and Jeezy got money. They could get an apartment for their mom and brother down the street. That's just a conversation. Both of them could. She could, and I'm sure she will. The fact that you use that as an excuse, let me know you already had one foot out the door. You didn't want to talk. You didn't want to have conversations. You don't want to go to marriage counseling. At the end of the day, you have buyer's remorse. You thought being married was always going to be hot, sexy Jeannie that was doing everything she could, busting it open, doing this, doing that, right? You saw it was a challenge to make her have a baby because she said she didn't want to. So you loved her down, lowered her defenses, had a baby. And now You're looking at married life and you're like, this feels like the same when I was engaged to person 1, 2, 3. I feel the same. I'm bored. I'm going to go. The fact that we live in a day and age where people have children and the woman blesses you with a child, and people really tell the man that they have no obligation to at least try to go to counseling, try to make it work. Now, I can understand if it was cheating, yelling, verbal abuse, emotional abuse. Nobody, man or woman, ever needs to stay for abuse or craziness. I get that. But this is Jeezy's own words. Ain't no abuse or craziness in it. This is literally conversations. This is marriage counseling. Listen, her exoticness. And I think her exoticness was also Jeannie. He liked the fact that she was fly. He liked the fact that she was well known in Hollywood. It wore off. He got everything he could out of it. And he said, I'm bored. I want to return this. Yep. Get the last one. Jeannie would walk their daughter to school. And he wasn't always around. So he found it a safety issue. But if you weren't always around, then how is the distance an MFing problem? How's the distance an MFing problem if you're rarely around and Jenny got to take the baby? So you're the one that's never home and you're the one that's always traveling and you're the one that the distance is the problem. And from what I understand, you're mad that Jenny won't wrap her and Monica's life around yours and come to where you are. Right? Because that's what it is. Because Jenny's like, no, I want Monica to go to her daycare. Monica needs to go to her lessons. She needs stability. And you're like, but why can't you come with me on my book tour? And you got mad because at the end of the day, if Jeannie couldn't wrap her life and Monica's life around it, you don't want it. Ladies, be careful. Be careful. That's all I'm saying. Be careful. Don't let these fools and their minions and these pick-me's, some of them look like your aunt, your uncle, your mother, your sister, your brother, whoever's, but listen, beware, because at the end of the day, like you see with Jeannie Mai, and I'm not defending Jeannie, right? She's a grown woman. She can take care of herself. I'm talking about this isn't just Jeannie. This has happened every single time. At the end of the day, when they're ready to throw you away, not only will they, but there'll be a bunch of people justifying on how you messed up and you wasn't good enough. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. You know what? I'm going to do a live about this and we'll talk about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Bye.